Dark World hits different. Dark World hits different on mute, Maki. I agree. Mute that movie. Turn off the screen. 10 out of 10. Tier list, let's go. Wait, MCU tier list. I'm here for it. Yes, Briggs. We're gonna be clapping some MCU tiers. I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, we're gonna be rating the whole MCU from the movies to the TV shows and everything. Honestly, what I'm really expecting is for people to just tell me my opinion is terrible and that all my choices are whack. So imagine we all agree with you. Yeah, it's just like everyone's like, dude, this is such a good valid point. First movie, the OG. The OG, starting off the Marvel Cinematic Universe, starring Robert Downey Jr. and Terrence Howard as a support. It's Iron Man 1. No, you guys are wrong, actually. You guys are completely wrong. I'm literally looking at this right now. Don't tell me I'm wrong without knowing the facts. It literally says Iron Man 1, May 2008, and The Incredible Hulk, June 2008. But personally, Iron Man 1 started off the universe, is one of my favorite movies in the universe, and I'm gonna put it in S tier because I think it's one of my top 3 movies in the MCU, hands down. Honestly, Hulk is pretty mid. I'm gonna be honest. It wasn't the greatest of movies. Like genuinely, if you asked me to sit down and watch it right now, I probably wouldn't be able to rewatch it just because of how like meh it is. I think Edward Norton is probably the best part of the movie. General Ross was really good, but I think Abomination as a villain was pretty bad. What I'm gonna say is I'm gonna put The Incredible Hulk in D tier. Next up, the final solo movie in Phase 1, Captain America: The First Avenger. It is a fun movie. It's an enjoyable watch. All in all, I really enjoyed the movie. The only thing is, when What If came around, and I came to realize this, I feel like it's a forgettable movie. So I'm gonna put it in B tier. I think it is a very solid movie. It's a little bit above average, but also it's not the greatest movie that's ever come out. So I'm gonna put it in B tier. I think it's a solid movie. So we're gonna end Phase 1 with the final movie, the part that was built up to in all 4 of these movies. Avengers 1. This was one of the greatest movie experiences I've had ever watching the Avengers #1. I was just in awe seeing all the heroes combined, having fun, and it was an amazing movie. All in all, I think even today it holds up. It is an amazing journey from beginning to end, from the rivalry Cap and Iron Man have, from what Puffa mentioned, Loki getting his shit rocked, the introduction of Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, the interaction between Iron Man and Hulk, Black Widow, Hawkeye's introductions. It's just all around perfect movie. The foreshadowing of Tony's Iron Man at the end of it, going into the black hole, prepared to die, taking the rocket solo, prepared to sacrifice his life to save New York. But as of right now, The Avengers at the end of Phase 1 is my top Marvel movie, beating out Iron Man 1. Next up, everyone's favorite, the one Maki's been clamoring for this whole time, potentially some people's favorite movie, Thor: The Dark World, aka Thor 2. This follows what happened in Thor 2? Oh, Jane has the ether in her. There's a dark elf for some reason who wants the ether, all that stuff. Loki dies, quote unquote, replaces Odin. That was not a joke previously about what happens in Thor: The Dark World. I genuinely forgot because I absolutely loathe this movie. This is the worst movie in all of the MCU. Straight F tier. I wish it was never made. After these 2 movies, I never liked Thor. I thought Thor was the worst character in the Avengers, and I did not even care for Thor 3. We'll come back to that when we visit Thor 3. This will genuinely, I think it's gonna start heated debate here. Okay, let's just get into it. Let's just bite the bullet. The next movie up, right, is another sequel to one of the original Avengers, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Now, some call this the greatest Marvel movie to ever be made. The elevator scene alone makes this movie A tier. I promise. It just makes it A tier instantly, right? But everything else added, the incredible storyline and everything, it's safe to say Captain America 2 falls in S tier. However, this is where we get controversial. I personally think Avengers 1 and Iron Man 1 were better than Cap 2. So, it goes in S tier, but it is the lowest in S tier currently. Next up is Age of Ultron, the second Avengers movie. It follows, once again, the cause of most problems in the MCU, Iron Man, creating an AI system that wants to destroy everything, aka Ultron. Age of Ultron, more like Age of Ass Cheeks. Bad. Okay, so I'm already seeing that this is going to be a very interesting discussion. I'm gonna be honest. I liked the movie. It was enjoyable for me. Spartan Cat equivalated it to the Justice League of the MCU, and I tend to agree. I think what the issue with the Justice League was, it was trying to set up a whole universe, and what ended up happening was it just imploded on itself because they put too much stuff into the movie. But at the end of the day, I think it's an enjoyable enough movie that I can sit through it. I personally think Age of Ultron is C tier, and I put it above Iron Man 3. Back to the next movie. Ants, aka Ant-Man 1. I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say, because I think Captain America 1 is a solid movie, right? But I think Ant-Man 1 is also a solid movie in the same aspects, right? I think it's like, what do you prefer? Do you prefer comedy or action? If you prefer action, I think Captain America takes the cake, but like, honestly, as a consumer, I like the comedy better. Ant-Man suffers from all movies indeed list, but is refined, like a little bit more tolerable. I don't agree. I think Ant-Man's way better than Age of Ultron and Iron Man 3. It's clearly better than C tier. I can see the argument that it's like at the bottom of B tier, but also just like, yes, Captain America 3, aka Civil War. I loved the whole Civil War back and forth. I love the teams, the introduction of Spider-Man. Fantastic movie all in all. I think both sides had very solid arguments. I know Moses started this poll. It's extremely biased right now. Everyone's wrong. It's Team Iron Man all the way. Fantastic movie. I loved every aspect of it. I don't even like know where to start. Bucky as a misunderstood villain, Zemo as the actual villain, the introduction of Black Panther, bro. Oh my god, bro, when they dropped the trailer with Spidey, bro. Okay, so I was at a competition in high school when they dropped that trailer. All of us got around a small phone, right? And we were literally like in a group watching like this. There's like 12 of us, and one person had their phone up, and all of us were watching, and we all cheered. Spartan Cat was there. He could attest to this. I think Iron Man was on the right. You gotta factor in everything, right? He started out as the first Avenger. He gets his shit GG'd. He gets his shit rocked. He has near-death experience in Iron Man 2. Post-Avengers, he comes back. Iron Man 3. And he comes with a new look on life. He's dealt with his anxiety with it. He's a new man. And then here comes Ultron, his own creation. He's come to terms with the fact that he has created most of the villains. He understands that there are actual issues with it, and that the government won't stop until they stop them all. If Iron Man said nothing, if he let Cap go with everything, they would still be on the run. That's what you guys don't understand. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what Iron Man did. They would all still be on the run. Whether or not Iron Man agreed with them, they will all be on the run. And if you guys watch the movie, you know at the end of the movie, he sides with Team Cap. He's with Cap. He agrees that something is wrong. And he shows up at the facility, and that's where he learns his parents were murdered by Bucky. What else is he supposed to do? Is he supposed to be like, oh, Bucky, oh man, dude, oh, that's crazy. Dude, you weren't in your right mind. Oh no, that's cool, bro. You killed my parents, dude. That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. Thanks, pimp. No shit, he's gonna flip shit, bro. What? Obviously. Well, because he got proof, but then he found out Bucky killed his parents. It's not Bucky's fault. But it is Bucky's fault. Right? Like, you cannot sit there and be like, Bucky did nothing wrong, bro. Man was brainwashed. It doesn't matter if he was brainwashed, he still killed his parents, bro. Just because you do something while you're brainwashed doesn't excuse you from not living the consequences. If it brainwashed you to punch Moza, is it your fault? Yes, because I still punch Moza. It's whoever brainwashed you, but that doesn't mean I don't have any consequences, bro. I still punch Moza. I still deserve to have some sort of consequences. It might not be like blasting my shit to smithereens, right? You're teammates with this dude. You're teammates with Steve Rogers for so many years, and he knows who murdered your parents. And instead of telling you that Bucky did it and preparing you for that moment, right? So say like before the whole fight, right? He explains to Tony that Bucky was brainwashed and all that stuff, and he calms him down and explains all this beforehand, right? So it's not like an immediate rush of emotions. It'd be fine. But Cap didn't do that. Cap's a terrible friend. He just lets him go in, and then he just backs up Bucky because he's like, Bucky's my old friend. And it's like, so Tony doesn't mean anything to you, bro? So you just beat the shit out of him? Like, what? No, dude. That, honestly, all of Captain America Civil War would have been avoided if Cap had just not hidden the fact that Bucky was alive and that Bucky killed Iron Man's parents. Take the L on their graves. Well, understandably, it's a weird area, but the thing would be Iron Man would understand. How could he blame him when he's brainwashed? But that's the thing, Maki. You gotta hear about it, right? He found out right in that moment, and then the dude who killed his parents is right there, right? You immediately just like have to take it out on him. It doesn't matter if he's brainwashed or what, right? And that was what the fight scene was about. It was Bucky trying to get away while Steve tries to explain to Tony that it's not that like he was brainwashed and all that stuff, right? That's where you get the Iron Man line where he's just like, it doesn't matter, he murdered my mom. Like, what part of this are you guys not understanding? Cap is a goof for not telling Iron Man. Exactly. I'm getting heated, bro. This is why the movie is so good, bro. Because it's literally making us question both sides. I'm going to put Civil War above Captain America 2, but below Iron Man 1. I think Iron Man 1 just has this level of enjoyment that I can't get over. Next up is Spider-Man Homecoming, the return of, not even the return, the start of Peter Parker in the MCU, the return of Spider-Man to Marvel. I get both sides of the situation, right? I grew up on Tobey Maguire. I think Tobey Maguire is a fantastic Spider-Man. Honestly, probably my favorite movies. Spider-Man 2, up there, top 5 movies. I think Andrew was underrated. He was a fantastic Spider-Man. I loved his humor. I will agree that Tom Holland may not be the best, but I think he's a very solid character. I think he gets a lot more hate than he deserves. I think he's a solid character. I enjoy the rewrite. Everyone's complaining like, oh, he's too tangled up with Tony Stark and all that stuff. But like, would you guys rather we do Uncle Ben third time? Right? Like, I don't like it. Everyone calls him Iron Man Jr., but like, and it's different. It's a nice change of pace, right? And he has all of like the fun parts that I like of Spider-Man. He's a nerd. He knows how to build his like, what is it, like web fluid. They show all that. I think it's a fantastic movie. The whole scene where he's lifting the building on his back, fantastic. Loved it. But it's not the greatest movie. I think it's a solid movie. Honestly, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move Doctor Strange to A tier, and we're gonna put Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man Homecoming at the top of B tier. Solid movie. All right, next up, Thor Ragnarok. Let me set the scene. All right, it's 2017 November. I'm in the middle of my second year of college. I hated Thor. I thought he was a terrible character. Hated him in Thor 1. Hated him in Avengers. Hated him in Avengers 2. Hated him in Thor 2. Thought he was the worst Avenger. I was like, this is a terrible character. Everyone was like, Thor 3 is gonna be great, fantastic. I saw the trailers, I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool, actually. So I was a little bit hyped. And then I went into the theater. It was me, my roommate, Spartan Cat. I walked out a changed man. I'm gonna be honest. The movie changed me. It gave me a new perspective onto what a comedy could be. And it gave me a new appreciation for the genius that is Taika Waititi. It is one of the greatest MCU movies in my opinion. Honestly, in S tier. I think that's a given, right? When I look at it compared to the Dark, or not the Dark World, when I look at it compared to Winter Soldier, instantly above that. When I look at it compared to Civil War, there's kind of a toss-up in my head because I think Civil War is a fantastic movie. But if I'm gonna be honest, I think Thor Ragnarok is better. However, I do not think it's better than Iron Man 1. I think Iron Man 1 is a fantastic movie, all put together. I think the comedy is slightly better in Iron Man 1. We're going to get into this, but I feel like the top 4 or 5 in S tier could be flipped in any way. It just depends on my mood that day. Next up is Black Panther. I like Black Panther, but I cannot take that CG fight seriously. So Marvel has this thing, right, where the third act, right, at the end, there's always this huge CG fight. I'm never a fan of it. I think it's kind of mid, but honestly, it's not the worst. Not the worst. I think it's a solid movie. I think in general, solid movie, not the greatest. I'm going to put it at the top of B tier. Phase 1 led to the first Avengers, Loki coming to Earth, and we got a tease at the end of it. Thanos is coming. Then we move into Phase 2, Age of Ultron. Thor goes, visits the lake, gets the premonition of the Infinity Stones. We see Thanos putting on his Infinity Gauntlet. We've built up all the movies. 10 years of waiting. From Iron Man 1 up until this point, we have the first Avengers Infinity War movie, Avengers Infinity War. Originally called Avengers Infinity War Part 1, and then Endgame was Part 2. But for now on, just Infinity War. Fantastic movie. Honestly, all around, heavy hitter. One of the most unexpected plot twists for general audiences. Everyone loses. The Avengers are all GG'd. They get GG'd at the end, and it's a fantastic movie. I love the whole build up to this movie, and like seeing it in theaters opening night was insane. Thor arriving in Wakanda is one of the greatest scenes in cinema. I literally get goosebumps every time I watch that scene. The question is, the one we'll answer when we get to Endgame is it better than Endgame? For now though, I think Infinity War, safe to say, belongs in S tier. One of the greatest Marvel movies of all time. I don't think it's as good as the first Avengers. I don't think it's good as Iron Man 1. But I do think it's better than Thor Ragnarok, so it's going third in our S tier. Back to the debate between Infinity War and Endgame. I know a lot of people say Infinity War was the better movie because it was more fun to watch. However, for me personally, I loved Endgame way more. I love the whole time travel aspect. I love the culmination. I love the wrap-up. I think Endgame was better. I like how it wrapped up the story. I love how Iron Man got like his whole story kind of sent off. I love Cap and Iron Man and how they grew their story arcs throughout the entire MCU and like wrapping all of that up. It was a fantastic farewell. That final fight scene was the greatest fight scene. I love you 3000. Fantastic. The single greatest movie experience I've ever had is when I watched this movie opening night and Captain America picks up Mjolnir. The greatest movie experience, hands down. The screaming, the cheering. I never will ever get over that. That was the greatest time I've been in a movie theater. Nothing will ever live up to that. 11 years built up to this movie. The greatest, arguably, Avengers movie. Top of S tier. Greatest Marvel movie of all time. In my opinion. Alright. This is my tier list for the MCU. But regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. If you guys want to make your own tier list and compare it to mine, please feel free to. I'm interested to see what you guys have to say. Interested to see what you guys basically rank stuff as.